Hey teachers, I want to thank you so much for grabbing this video. This is going to serve as episode 001 on different ways to pay for things. So what I want to do is just take a few minutes to go through some of the content that I have in the teacher package that is free for you to take, all right? And just outline some of the content that you're going to see in there, okay? So the curriculum expectation, let me just pause for 1 second here and give you more of a big, broader paintbrush, okay? In Ontario, in 2020, our Ministry of Education, our government, decided to update the math curriculum. Prior to that, it was done in 2005. It was left for about 15 years, and then in 2020, they updated the curriculum. In the new, oh, hold on a second. It's a joke that is in many of my videos. In my portable, my light goes off when I sit for too long. Okay, I come back to it. So they updated the curriculum in math, and what they added was a component of coding, which they put into algebra, patterning and algebra. So coding is now, we are legally required by the Education Act to follow the curriculum. We are required to teach coding, all right, every year to our students. We're also required to teach financial literacy. And financial literacy was actually not added to one of these strands. You know, you've got numbers, you've got measurements, you've got geometry, you've got algebra. It wasn't added into one of those strands. It was actually, it became its own strand. So now within every year, we're required to teach coding, but we're also required in Ontario to teach financial literacy. Hence, my prior love for financial literacy, now there's an opportunity for me to help. Okay, so if you are a teacher outside of Ontario, hopefully your province or state has some sort of financial literacy component. If they don't formally, I think it's really important to teach, and I would appreciate you sharing these videos with your students. But nonetheless, let's get back to the activity here, okay? So the curriculum expectation that I'm pulling from is in the 6th grade curriculum. All right, so this would be appropriate for grade 6 students. But again, you're in 5th grade, 7th, 8th grade, go ahead and, share it with everybody, okay? Now, what's interesting though is that earlier to grade 6, in 4th grade actually, students learned various ways to pay for things. Believe it or not, they actually do. What's interesting though is that in 4th grade, they learn a list of different ways to pay, whereas in 6th grade, the actual curriculum expectation says, describe the advantages and disadvantages of various methods of payment that can be used for goods and services, or for purchasing goods and services. So what we're looking at in grade 4 are what is the list of things. In 6th grade, why? What are the advantages and disadvantages of paying certain ways? Okay, so make sure you make that distinction to your students. Just, clarify that we're not really looking for a list. We're looking for ways to pay, or rather advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Some key concepts, 2 big key concepts that I want to point out. Consumers, students have choice into how they pay. You can use a credit card, you can use a debit card, or you can use cash, okay? Totally up to you. Also, another big key understanding is that there's an underlying agreement between the vendor and the consumer that is finalized when the payment is made. So for example, if I go to use cash to pay for my coffee, the consumer is purchasing from the vendor, we exchange money, I receive my coffee, I've got my good, right? They've got my money, finalized, finished, over, capiche, done. All right, make sure that key concept is made, because money is very important way of finalizing payments. Okay. Big idea for this lesson. I will explore different ways to pay for things. Pretty straightforward. I want to make one emphasis here, and this is really interesting. The emphasis here is to explore and describe various ways to pay for things. In this lesson, students are not doing adding and subtracting. They're not looking at numbers. They're not looking at purchase interest or interest on your payment. Okay? They're looking at ways to explore and describe. All right? So really, we're emphasizing what are the advantages and disadvantages. We're not so much looking at, you buy this for $2 and this for $5 and this for $8. We're more looking at why is a credit card better or worse, advantage or disadvantage, than using a check, for example. All right? So students can put away their calculators for this because they're not going to need it. All right? So that's interesting. I go through 8 different ways to pay for things. I've given you an assessment, okay? And in that assessment, I give you 3 questions that you can pose to your students as an exit ticket, all right? And then as a follow-up assignment, I'm going to give you one more activity. And what this is looking at is, okay, so I just said a few minutes ago there's no calculating in this. However, if you want, I can give you a calculation activity, all right? And so what I'm asking is, a student named Alex goes away on a trip with his family, $250 for the weekend. Come up with 3 things Alex can buy, and each thing he purchases must be a different form of payment, all right? And most importantly, why? Why is the student choosing to pay that way? Because I want students not so much to see that, I can add up 100 plus 75 plus 75, that's my 250. I'm more interested in seeing why are they choosing to use a coupon, or why are they choosing to use their Apple Watch for this particular item rather than using cash. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's a fun little activity. My students had a lot of fun with it. And that's a follow-up to the exit ticket. Okay, so I feel I'll leave it there. Again, episode 001, grade 6, different ways to pay for things. If the video was helpful, please like the video. I would appreciate you subscribing, yada, 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 yada. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I just want to get this out in front of as many people as possible. But anyways, have a great day. Thanks for checking out this follow-up video. I hope it's been helpful. I hope that the further teaching or the further understanding has been valuable to you. And I really wish you success in teaching your students this financial literacy expectation. Have a great day, and thanks again.